What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I am going to talk about why you need to stay away from a 9 to 5. And if you are working a 9 to 5, why you need to leave it as soon as you possibly can. Okay, just for some context, I was in this exact same situation not too long ago. I went through the ropes and the motions, and I was there for about 3 to 4 years, and I hated every second of it. I can confidently say, once I came to the realization that there was more to life, I didn't want to be a part of this world anymore. And yeah, I worked a bunch of different jobs. I worked at an Amazon warehouse. I was in management, and yeah, I just worked a ton of different jobs that gave me all the same feedback that I needed to know. I am never going to work a 9 to 5 again. And I can confidently say again, I am on the other side. I've made it to where the grass is greener. I've made the online money. I have my own business running right now, which is awesome. So I want to show you guys and hopefully save you guys the time frame that I had to go through with just this video alone. Maybe it'll be the wake up call that you need to hear that something has to be done. Okay. First, I want to start off with comparing why you need to do this. Why is it so bad? Because you might not know exactly why you need to leave. And I'm going to kind of put it into comparison, at least where my brain was, because I think three main factors go into play here. We'll start with the traditional 9 to 5. Okay. We're going to cover time, pay, and environment. All of these three things, in my opinion, have the most effect on you in terms of what you do with your time, how you do it, what you do for the people around you, your mental state, etc. Right? So we'll start with time, right? With time at a traditional 9 to 5, you have no time to do anything for yourself, for you to enjoy, right? And so what ends up happening is you're stuck at this job for about 8 to 10 hours a day. I've even worked 12-hour shifts. You've probably been there as well. And chances are, let me guess, you go home, you don't have enough energy to do anything, right? You can barely have enough energy to take care of yourself, to barely make yourself food. And even then, you can't even put good creative effort into a meal. Just something as simple as being able to take care of your own well-being. You don't even have the energy to do it because you already spent it at this job, right? At this job that, we'll move on to the next one here, that pays you like 15 bucks an hour, 20 bucks an hour, right? I've been there. I remember thinking and hoping, crossing my fingers, that they would give me a raise, and instead of giving me 20 bucks an hour, they would give me 23, right? But we both know that that pay like that cannot supplement the life that you want. Because if I'm not mistaken, a lot of you want to take trips. A lot of you want to work from any part of the world. A lot of you want to move right out of your hometown. Maybe you're from a small town in Idaho, and you know for a fact you just don't want to live this lifestyle. You'd rather be in Miami. And trust me, I get it. I'm not the person to tell you that, you have to go to these big cities and you have to live this crazy lavish lifestyle. I totally understand that some of you just want the ability to be able to travel at a moment's notice, right? You can literally snap your fingers, buy a ticket, and go to, Hawaii if you want to, right? I did that a couple months back, which was awesome, but I would not have been able to do that working a regular 9 to 5. We'll go over to the third most important thing that I think affects your well-being overall. This is by far the most important thing, if I'm being honest, is your environment. Okay, I'll give you the example of when I was working at Amazon. I knew people and I was in charge of people that were 40, 50, even 60 years old. And they were just there because that's all they knew. It was easy. They didn't have to put in a ton of effort, but they were all okay with getting, by on a paycheck to paycheck basis, right? As long as it supplemented their food, their like shitty apartment, whatever it is that they were living in. They didn't want more and they didn't have ambition. If that's not you, if you know wholeheartedly inside deep in your soul that that is not you, you do want more for your life, then you're not going to want to stay around these people, because chances are if you stay long enough, you will never get out. And I'm not kidding. It literally, that's why they call it the rat race, because it's literally just a loop. It's a loop going and it won't stop until you reach the cheese that you will never get, essentially, right? So yeah, like I put here on the right hand side, the 9 to 5 rat race mentality will rub off on you. And again, I say that because it was starting to rub off on me, right? Every single time with the people that I made friends with at my 9 to 5s, it was the same story. It was like, yeah, let's, go through this 10-hour shift and, maybe we'll have enough time to be able to spend it, the money that we made on the weekend on drinks at the bar, because we have nothing fucking better to do with our lives. You know what I mean? And again, some people want to live lives like that. I wholeheartedly understand that we need people like that in society for everything to work, but that's not me. And I hope that's not you watching this video, because chances are you want more, okay? So we're going to put this all into perspective in terms of working a traditional 9 to 5, where it gets you, how you feel. You've got no time, you got nothing to spend. You can't even spend on the people that you love the most. For example, to me, that's most important, is that I am able to splurge on the people around me, right? Because my parents have put in so much hard work and effort into me having a life that, where I could choose to do whatever I want, or my fiance, where I could just take her out on a nice steak dinner on a random Tuesday. That's important to me, right? Same thing with environment. I just don't want to be around people like that. So let's go ahead and compare it, okay? In comparison to the online money. And don't get me wrong, I understand comparison is the thief of all joy, but in a sense, you do need to make the comparison to identify. You need to make a decision, and this is not what you're going to settle for, okay? So time, let's start with time. Time, even for myself, like I own a full-fledged business right now. I only work 4 hours a day. And I was only working 4 hours a day when I was a high ticket setter, when I was working inside of this online space, when I started to make the online money. That's all I was working. Chances are the people that I work with right now, they only work anywhere between 4 to 6 hours a day, right? And that's not even a shift. When you make money online, you don't typically have to work shifts. So this 4 hours a day is spread between the entire day. So you can wake up in the morning, get started, whatever, drink your coffee, get started on, for example, if you're doing high ticket appointment setting, send some DMs, go do whatever it is that you're going to do, right? Because your schedule is essentially wide open. You can work on your own terms. As long as you put in the effort, you get the results that are necessary out of you. You can work however long. You can literally work 2 hours a day. I'm sure the business owner would not care as long as you're providing results. And welcome to the online business world. Welcome to business in general. Just provide results and you get the freedom that you want, right? Pay. The ceiling is unimaginable, right? Specifically, the opportunities that I like to push people towards is always going to be commission based, because then it really is a direct reflection between how hard are you willing to work, how smart are you willing to work, and what results do you generate, right? When I was a high ticket setter, I had a record month of $11.5 thousand in a single month, sending DMs, right? I have never met anybody who works at a warehouse lifting heavy 50-pound boxes make anywhere near that in a month. And I don't say that to gloat, because I was in that position as well. But it's until you break into this space that you start to come to that realization, like, it doesn't actually have to be this way. It's just all about leverage. It's all about actually gaining the right knowledge and then taking action. The last one here on this list is environment. Everyone is an absolute weapon in the online money making space. The reason being is because you have to be. If you're not dialed in, if you're not fully disciplined, you're just not going to make anything online. And people can see right through it. People don't want to do business with people online that they've never met if it's not showing, within their content, within just everything that they're putting online, that they are absolutely dialed in. And I can tell you guys from firsthand experience, right? People who I have befriended in this space who have 6 and 7 figure businesses that are most of the time, they're usually ripped. They're usually just fully dialed in. They don't have any really big bad vices. They don't have bad habits, and so on and so forth, right? And so if that is an environment that you want to be in, you're not going to find those people in a 9-to-5. Right? Rightfully so, because these people are doing what's necessary. They're doing the stuff that nobody wants to do. And therefore, that's why a lot of people cannot break into the online money. So what I want to cover here is exactly how you do it. How do you actually break into this space? So most of you are aware of this online space, and you probably already know what a funnel is. And we're essentially applying that funnel diagram to this as well, to breaking out of your 9-to-5 and breaking into the online money space, right? So the first thing you have to do is you have to become valuable. Now, every single person watching this video is valuable already, because you're your own person. You're unique to your own character. You have your own thoughts, etc., etc. But we do need some external force to be able to bring to the table that nobody else does, which is having a skill set, right? A lot of people, why do you think people who try to build businesses, they try to get it to 10K a month, they can never get it there because they have no skills. And you also need to utilize skills to figure out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And people skip this step. They just completely ignore the fact that you need to figure out what you're good at, so that way you can essentially double down on that thing that you're good at, right? And by far, the thing that I push everyone towards is always going to be high ticket appointment setting, because it's by far the easiest thing to learn, but it also gives you so much leverage that when you actually do it properly, you can break into so many different avenues utilizing this one thing. And on top of that, you can get paid very well, right? We'll talk about that in a second. And second of all, after you're done with creating that value around yourself, you've developed the skill where it needs to be for you to actually make an impact, you need to find somebody to partner with, right? And this person usually has to be somebody that's a business owner that is well established. You want them to be the reason why you get paid, but you also want to utilize them as somebody who can just mentor you, right? Somebody you can learn from. And chances are this is somebody who's, again, already established. They've gone through the trial and errors, but they have everything figured out. They just need somebody like yourself to help propel their business, to help blow the thing up. And I personally did this again, right? I was a high ticket setter with one person, right? We were a 2-person team and we did $220,000 in sales in a single month. So my point here is you need to find somebody who you can partner up with that you can make an impact on, but can make an impact on yourself. And then from then on, it's pretty simple. You just have to work your ass off. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of a scenario here. So I was stuck in the 9-to-5 rat race for 3 to 4 years, but I decided to bet on myself. So what I did was I stacked a bunch of cash, right? I think I saved up like 10 or 12 grand and I quit. Cold turkey. Like, I didn't have anything backed up at the time. I didn't even know I was going to get into high ticket appointment setting, but I ended up stumbling across it and got to my last dollar. There's a couple of other videos you can watch on my channel of a screenshot that I have of my account literally having $1 in my checking account, $1 in my saving account. It's so funny. But what I did when I finally got the opportunity to prove myself and make something of it, I worked my ass off, okay? And if you can do these 3 things, this will lead to the online money that you're looking for. And I want you guys to start there as well. Please let go of the connotation of having to hit 10K a month. Forget about it. Focus on what you're currently making with your 9-to-5 right now. If you're bringing in $2,500 every month, replace that. And as soon as you replace it, then you focus on making more and taking farther and farther steps to eventually get you to that 10K a month mark. But that's honestly probably one of the first things I tell my students who join the First Class Setter program is just forget about it. Focus on skill development and watch what ends up happening. You start to just accept money because you become valuable. So therefore, you have an excuse to bring in an income. You start providing value to business owners. And just to give you guys a couple of examples here, so you don't feel like I'm like bullshitting or whatever, all of these guys I have worked with one-on-one inside of the program that I have going on. All of them came to me with a similar story, is they did not want to dive into the 9-to-5 rat race that they were being pushed towards, that they were sold, right, by just today's society in general. Everybody thinks you have to undergo a regular 9-to-5 job, but you don't, right? There's much more out here. There's much more online that a lot of people are just not aware of. Give you an example, Calvin right here, right? Making $500 at a gym, right? Working like 4 hours whenever he would go, which is like having to pick up weights. It's, I mean, kind of a tough job, right? And he was just getting pennies off of that, right? Eventually, he came to me, wanted to learn a skill because he knew that was the move that he needed to make. Eventually, he got into a role. He had 10K a month. He almost beat my record, right? He was like $1,500 short from beating my record, which is crazy. Or Chris, he was in the film industry, so kind of similar to like what the corporate world was like. And he ended up wanting to figure out how to become valuable enough and learn a skill set that can pay him very well from anywhere in the world. We ended up helping him find a role, and he made $9,100 in a single month as well with high ticket setting. Leon came to me wanting a piece of this online money because he was a chef and didn't like that line of work, right? It wasn't passionate to him. It didn't give him the freedom that he was looking for because he had to be in the kitchen. And if he wasn't in the kitchen, he wasn't making money. But that is not the case anymore. He made $6K a month with high ticket setting. He went to Thailand, traveled already, which is super sick. Same thing can be said for Caleb over here. He was making $0, had never made money online, and had a part-time job that knew where it was leading him to. It was leading him to a world where he just wasn't going to be happy. He had a ceiling. He was never going to end up getting a raise. And now he's broken into the online money. He's made $3,600 in a single month. You can watch all of these videos on my channel, by the way. These are all interviews that I did with them, which is awesome. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you're serious about leaving your 9-to-5, you want to make it a thing of the past because you don't have any time freedom, your pay doesn't reflect the effort that you put into your job on a daily basis, and you're tired of having to walk around zombies that want nothing more for their lives, then consider booking a call down below where me and you can chat. We can come up with a custom game plan so you can learn a high value skill set like every single one of the students that you see on the screen here, so you can have total control over what you do with your time and how you make a full-time income. I'll see you all in the next one.